This video is made possible by our loyal Patreon supporters. Visit patreon.com/PsycheTruth.
Hi guys, welcome. My name's Tessa and I'm going to be working on Tyler today. We're going to be doing a neck and scalp, and I'm going to go ahead and jump right in. So to begin, I'm actually, I like to start really slow and just get Tyler kind of used to, having contact with me. I don't like to rush through the beginning of my massages. And I'm going to go ahead and start with something that's just really stimulating for all the nerve endings in here. So it's more like kind of a rubbing sensation more than an actual massage. So you're stimulating all these hair follicles and nerve endings in here. So just kind of dragging my fingers across the scalp. And side note, this is actually a really good thing to do for anybody that has TMJ. Just relaxing all this soft tissue in here can really help. And there's different ways to do this. You can kind of stabilize yourself with your thumbs, or you can just let your thumbs be more free, or kind of find a happy medium. And I like to get all the way to the back of the scalp as much as I can. Just nice long glides across the scalp. And I'm going to go ahead and just bring the same kind of movement into the forehead, just to relieve some of the pressure in here. And definitely getting into these temples. And it's just a little trick that I've learned. So like if your client's head or your friend's head is like right at the edge of the table, your arms are not resting on anything. So if you have your client scoot down a little bit, it's so much easier to do this particular thing that I'm doing. And yeah, and this is kind of a chance for me to just ground myself a little bit more. Starting to tune into my own breath as I work a little bit more. And I'm going to transition into massaging the soft tissue a little bit more. So I'm actually going to start with just little circles. And there's a lot more actual contact with that soft tissue. And just working my way around above the ears, a really important part to focus on when you're doing this kind of massage. It's good to find kind of a rhythm that makes sense for you with how you work. I like to go a little slower just because that's kind of what feels natural to me. Again, like my hands are resting, so it's a lot easier to do this. And a lot of therapists will be really precise and kind of move from section to section. Like around the ear 3 times or before moving on, but I just kind of like to not think about it too much and stay out of my head as much as possible and really listen with my fingers more than anything. And if there's little pockets of soft tissue that feel they need more attention, I might just pause and stay a little longer. I'm going to go ahead and work my way around the ears towards the mastoid process. It's It's a really important area to just kind of massage some of those attachments in there and soft tissue around here. And spending a little longer on the scalp before I start with any neck stuff. The one thing that I kind of catch myself doing is when your strength is like concentrated like this in a more stable, not moving my body, it can be a little bit tiring if you're not careful. So I'm just really staying present, like in my own body, breathing through my feet. And yeah. And I'm going to go ahead and just focusing on a smooth transition. I'm going to start working my way more deeply around the mastoid process. So instead of taking my hands off and losing contact, I'm just going to kind of start with my neck work and have that really nice transition into the neck. And so this is nice and warmed up, so I'm going to go ahead and I think the thing I need to do is actually grab my oil before anything else. I'm actually using a balm, which is really nice. Kind of melts in my hands. And this is a chance for me to kind of catch my breath for a second and tune into my own energy. Sometimes it's easy to just forget about yourself when you're doing a massage. And we are ready for some delicious neck work. And I think I grabbed a little too much oil, but it's okay. Kind of nice to walk the shoulders because you can just encourage more space between the shoulder and the ears. You can also do this really slowly, do alternating shoulder compressions. So I'm going to do a video with some neck work in the prone position, which is if somebody were complaining of like more intense trap pain, I would work on them face down as opposed to face up. But that's not our focus today. I'm going to work on these muscles on the side of the neck more and along the occipital ridge. I think working along in the occipitals is like some of my favorite kind of work to do for people. And I know how much I love getting that area worked on, and sometimes I feel like my vision's almost clearer after getting deep tissue work in the occipital area up higher in the neck. So I'm not doing deep tissue, I'm just doing some effleurage to kind of warm up this soft tissue. And also just kind of let this oil absorb a little bit. All right. And all right, so I'm gonna go ahead and start. I'm gonna just slide to so that I have an angle to work from, sliding to the side of the table. And I'm just gonna start kind of more broadly working my way around the mastoid process. And I like to do this before working on the SCN muscle. And really just, not, I think if you want to give a good massage, the key is to care, first of all, and to let go of worrying that you're going to do something wrong. I mean, really. So anyway, really anybody can give a really good massage if your heart's in it. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and, I know that technically this is not totally correct to be working with bent joints like that. It's in my comfort level. I feel like I have more sensitivity and a slightly broader surface area when I'm working. So, it would be healthier if you can use the very tips of your fingers, but said before, I like that my nails are a little, not super short. Okay, so I am starting to get in here a little more vigorously into the occipitals, and I am making sure that Tyler's head is supported with my left hand so that he feels nice and stable as I'm working. And you can also do this with your knuckle. I just find that this doesn't work as well for me, but it's certainly a really healthy position for your hand. And if you're planning to spend more time here, you can actually combine, a little bit of soft tissue work. It goes really well with that deeper work and can just feel, soothing in between something that feels more intense. And another thing that I don't really like when I'm getting deep tissue work is for my therapist to be overly cautious. I like a nice assertive touch. So to anybody, wanting to give a good massage, I'd say care, but be assertive too in your touch. I just think it feels better. Really taking my time with these occipitals today. And really listening to my body at the same time. If I feel pain in my joints, I know I need to kind of take a break or work a different way. And I'm going to start to get into these neck muscles and just letting Tyler enjoy a little bit of effleurage in between more intense work. And just really scanning this area with my fingers and getting ready to introduce my thumb. And whoops. Right, so making sure that Tyler's head is supported as I work. And so if you find that the muscle feels really bouncy, you're probably going to need to be a little more patient and take your time. It's like you're kind of ironing out a rope, and just requires a little bit of patience. Also, I would gradually increase your pressure as you start to do more trigger point. And when I was first starting to do neck work this way, I think finding a flow that felt smooth was like challenging, felt kind of choppy. But the more you practice it, the more you can kind of weave things together in a really nice way. And it might help if you're having trouble getting a tautness to the muscle. You can kind of change position of the head a little bit. And this is one area where I want to be sure that I'm on the right spot before I go in with more pressure. And I don't stay for very long, so I'm just trying to be as efficient as possible because it can be kind of painful. This is like an efficient way to just get into those suboccipitals. Just kind of dragging your fingers up. And after doing that more detailed kind of work, I like to just do something a little more thoughtless and broad. And I'm going to go ahead and just kind of check in from left to right. And really just kind of knowing what you're in for before you change sides will save you time and make your client enjoy the massage more. And trying to do this deeper work like in front of the table is much harder. So like angling yourself is just easier. And so I am not too worried about like how I'm getting in here right now. I'm just know that these occipitals need some work, so I'm not thinking about like, being super smooth or precise in how I'm doing this. I'm just really focusing on providing some relief in the occipitals. And just remembering to take a breath myself. I find that neck work can be kind of tiring because it does require a good bit of concentration as well as physical effort. So just being conscious of relaxing like my whole body as I exert effort. And a little bit on this side, getting into this SCM muscle, and you get a lot of bang for your buck when you're doing trigger point in the SCM if you're doing it correctly. And so I'm just, every time that I release that more intense pressure, fresh blood moves into that muscle and more oxygen It's really healing for the body and the soul, I think. And yeah, just like I was talking about earlier, you don't have to give a perfect massage to give a really good massage. So before we finish today, I just wanted to thank a few of our awesome patrons. I wanted to thank Andrew D, King Mart, and Marquise Martin. Thank you guys so much for your support. And that is it for today. Thanks for joining us today, guys. I hope that you enjoyed today's video, and I look forward to seeing you next time.